Hi everyone and welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we are going to be crocheting this beanie as part of our 3 skeins challenge. To get started, grab your size F or 5 crochet hook and some medium size 4-weight yarn. And for the 3 skein challenge, I am starting out with my yellow. So what you want to do is go ahead and attach the yarn to your crochet hook and chain 23. 1, 2. So once you have your 23 chains, what you want to do is place one slip stitch in the back loop only of all of these 22 stitches. So skip this last chain that you made and go directly into the second one from your hook. And then just place one slip stitch in the back loop only, just like this. And go ahead and repeat that for the entire row. And once you get to the end of your row, go ahead and chain 1 and then turn your work, and you just want to repeat that, placing one slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch across. And you want to do this until your brim reaches your desired length, which for me is about 14 or 15 inches, but it just depends on the size of the head of the person you're crocheting this for. So go ahead and do that and I'll meet back up with you there. Once your brim reaches the desired length, what we're going to do is we are going to fold it over itself like this, and then we're going to attach the edges together. So make sure you've added that chain 1 stitch at the end of your row, and then just go ahead and insert your hook into the stitch next to it, just like that. And then you want to place your hook into the first loop of your last row, of that first row you made actually. Then you just want to yarn over and pull through for a slip stitch. And you just want to repeat that for all the stitches going up the sides of your brim. When you get to the end of your row, go ahead and fold your brim up so that it's folded on top of itself like that. And then just make sure you're folding the ugly side on the inside and the pretty side on the outside. Whatever that is for you. And what I like to do is take the area where my crochet hook is and go ahead and fold it flat like that there. And we're going to place 4 clothespins or stitch markers or spare yarn, whatever you have lying around. And I'm just going to use the clothespins to kind of pinch these 2 edges together like that. So I went ahead and put one where my crochet hook is. And what you want to do is kind of fold it flat and then put one on the opposite side. Like that. And then you just want to fold the 2 clothespins on top of each other and then place a clothespin at either side here. So now that you have your 4 clothespins in place, go ahead and remove the clothespin where your crochet hook is. So right now I'm going to go ahead and change colors. And in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and grab my new color and I'm just going to simply yarn over and pull through. Tighten out that old color. And then what you're going to want to do is insert your hook on the opposite edge here and go ahead and pull through for a slip stitch. You might have to hold this tail kind of down for a little while. So it's going to want to pull up. So now that you have your new yarn attached, go ahead and chain 2. And now what we're going to do is we're going to place 21 double crochets between where our hook is and this first clothespin, and then 21 more between each set of clothespins until you get back to your first stitch. And you should have a total of 84 double crochets when you're done. This first section, you're going to count your chain 2 as your first one, so go ahead and place 20 double crochets between here and here. So now go ahead and yarn over and then go ahead and insert your hook into this first edge here. Then also you want to try to find a corresponding stitch on the opposite edge of the other side. And then you want to yarn over and just continue your double crochet stitch. So now you just want to continue placing double crochets and sewing the edges together until you get back to your first stitch. And like I said before, you should have 21 in between each of these sections for a total of 84 when you're done. Once you have your 84 double crochets inside the brim of your hat, we are actually going to just slip stitch right into the top of that chain 2 stitch here. So what we're going to do next is we're going to be crocheting around these posts here. So that's this part of the stitch, not the actual V part up here. So in order to do that, we're going to begin with the stitch that we are currently in, so the chain 2 that we just slip stitched into the top of. And so we are going to be placing a front post stitch in it. So go ahead and yarn over and then insert your hook around the stitch like that so that the post is in front of your crochet hook. And then you just want to yarn over and finish out your stitch. You just have to be careful you're not pulling any parts of the post there with you. So now you've created a front post stitch, and then the next post we are going to create a back post stitch. So go ahead and yarn over, and then you're going to insert your hook from the back to the front and then to the back again, so that the post is on the back here. And you're just going to want to yarn over and finish out your stitch just like before. So now what you're going to want to do for the rest of the row is to continue alternating between a front post stitch and a back post stitch until you get back to your original stitch, and I'll show you what to do. So once you get to the end of your row, what we're going to do is we are just going to go directly into our front post stitch here. So in order to do that, you're just going to want to yarn over and then insert your hook into that front post. And it should be a lot easier to see because you've already done it once. And then you're just going to want to finish out your stitch just like this. And then you're just going to want to continue crocheting into the back post and the front post again, just like before. Like this. So as you continue crocheting, you're just going to have sort of an endless pattern here for this color. And you're going to want to do this for the next 6 rows. So when you get to the end of your rows, all you're going to want to do is place a slip stitch into that first stitch. So I'm not talking about the post, I'm talking about the actual V stitch up here. And I'm just going to yarn over with my third color. So I'm just going to pull through all the loops on my hook. And then from here, you're just going to want to chain 2. And go ahead and place 1 double crochet in each stitch across for the entire row. And once you get to the end of your row, what we're going to do is we are going to place a slip stitch into the top of that chain 2 stitch. And from here, we're just going to repeat the steps that we did down here. So we're just going to start by placing a front post stitch around that chain 2. And then a back post stitch around the next. And we're just going to continue alternating for the entire row, just like before. And once you reach the end of your row, we are going to start decreasing. So go ahead and place a front post stitch in that first stitch. And then in the back post for our second stitch back here. Third. Fourth. Fifth. And then what we're going to do is we are going to crochet together stitch 6 and stitch 7. So to do that, go ahead and yarn over and then insert your hook around the back post and pull through. And then you're going to want to yarn over again and insert your hook around the front post and pull through. And then pull through all 4 of those loops. So you only have 2 loops left on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through again. Go ahead and follow that pattern going all the way around, placing your next 5 stitches in your post like normal, and then double crocheting together stitch 6 and stitch 7. So when you get to the end of your row, what we're going to do is we are going to follow the posts for the next 4 stitches. And as you can see here, you have 2 back post stitches, and that's just because of the way that we decreased the last row. So when you go to combine stitch 5 and stitch 6, all you're going to want to do is yarn over and insert your hook into the back post again, then yarn over and insert your hook into the front post, and then just finish out like you did before, and then continue on with the next 4 posts. And when you get to those 4 posts, you can see that your 4th post is on a front post, and then the next stitch is on a front post. So just go ahead and insert your hook into the front post like that, and then into the back post just like before. And then pull through the 4 loops on your hook, and then the last 2. So go ahead and repeat this going all the way around and just try to follow the post stitches, and it's okay if some of them are on top of each other. So once you get to the end of your row, what you're going to want to do is follow the post stitch for the next 3 stitches, and then you're going to double crochet together stitch 4 and stitch 5. And on this row, everything should line up like it did the first time we decreased. So you'll crochet 1 in the front post, 1 in the back post, 1 more in the front post, and then you're going to double crochet together this back post and this front post, just like before. So follow that pattern going all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. And once you reach the end of your row, you are going to crochet into the next 2 posts just like normal. So place our front post and then our back post, and then we are going to double crochet together stitch 3 and stitch 4. And as you can see, stitch 3 and stitch 4, these 2 are both front posts, so just go ahead and follow that, it's no big deal. Just like that. And go ahead and follow that pattern going all the way around, following the next 2 post stitches, and then double crocheting together stitch 3 and stitch 4. And once you get to the end of your row, all you're going to want to do is go ahead and place the next post stitch And then you're going to double crochet together the next 2 stitches around their posts. Just like that. So placing 1 post stitch and then double crocheting 2 together. And go ahead and follow that pattern going all the way around your row. And when you get to the end of your row, all you're going to want to do is just double crochet 2 together following the posts. So keep following that pattern, double crocheting 2 at a time together until you get to the end of your row. And when you get to the end of your row and your hole is getting quite tiny, all you're going to want to do is single crochet together 2 stitches at a time. So just like this. And you just want to follow that until you get to the end of your row. And you should have about 6 stitches when you're done. When you get to the end of your row, all you're going to want to do is insert your hook sort of across from your open hole here and place a slip stitch. And then you're just going to want to tie off your yarn. And once you have your tails tucked, it should look something like this. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were trying to crochet this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.